Hi all. So this is your first kind of tutorial for Kaledo print. So we talked about essentially all the different types of prints, the different machines that it can go in. Well, this is where you create your four types of prints. Just in general terms, your four types. So whether it's your tossed print, your two-way, your one-way, or your border engineered print. And then essentially you can do it with all these different sorts of techniques and methods, like outside of the program. So Kaledo print is very specific to print. So essentially putting that colorant or dye stuff on top of the print. Okay. So this tutorial is really just interface, so just some basic things. This is a student's print from last year, and I just put it up because it's way more interesting to look at than just a plain old screen while I talk about interface, because that's always just a bit boring. So let's just talk about, so essentially here is your workspace, workspace. It can be, again, it doesn't matter the size. Once you're printing it out or exporting it or sending it to whether you want to print it out on the digital printer that we have here, you will then set the actual scale and how big it is. So you really don't have to set anything. So this is your workspace. This is your palette viewer. So this tells you what colors are in your this specific colorway. So there's essentially black, white, and then she was working on a gradient between these two colors. In general, in industry, I would say that kind of 12 colors is your max. In this program, I think I let you go up to 15, but like at anthropology, we definitely were able to go up to like 12 colorways. Obviously, the more colors, the more expensive it is. At Gap, we rarely were able to go above 6 to 8 colors. So, definitely the more colorways, the more screens there are, the more expensive it is. So good thing to know. So there's your palette viewer. Then you have your toolbars, which, this is just your basic toolbars. These are the different studios that are here in print. You will be working through, so this is the color reduction studio. This is basically the process, the workflow of making a print. Then you'll go into the clean image studio. You'll then put it into a repeat, which this is already put into a repeat. And then you'll go into the colorway studio and make the different colorways you'll get to choose. So I think the requirement is 4 colorways on each one of your prints. So that's the different studios. Then essentially you have your basic utility. The good thing here, adjust to document resolution. So if you ever just need to get to 300, you can just kind of click that with any images that you're bringing in and clean it up that way. Now you have your same drawing tools that you had in style. And you'll do a lot of drawing, specifically if you're creating an original print, along with like the reshaping and all that, delete a print. Or delete or add or reshape a vectored item. Then you have your basic move, and in here they call it textures, not really images, everything's a texture. You'll have your different paint brushes, which I'll go through all those in subsequent tutorials, and then your masking tools. So the big things that are kind of new that you'll really be working a lot with is potentially your paint brushes you'll need a lot of when it comes to creating or cleaning your images, and then different masking tools, again, for creating, cleaning, things like that. Then you have, again, your basic, the reflecting images, whether it's horizontal or vertical, duplicating, this is a fun one, multi-copy. That's like a fun stamping one that I'll show. Your different colors that you're selecting, and then of course your selection tool or your group selection, which really we use mainly your selection tool. The one thing in print, you can't do your control. You can't just copy images from outside into this program. You're always going to have to come and insert them. So that's kind of one new thing that's a little different. So if you found a print or something that you want to use online, you're going to have to save that to your jump drive and then insert it into print. You can't Control C, Control V. But once you're in the program, you can Control C, Control V, Control Z, which is going back or undoing, things like that. So for right now, I think this is a good place to stop. This is your general interface, and we'll get more into the nitty-gritty in other tutorials.